Hey, praise God. Breakfast with the King, day 15 out of 366. Praise God for the leap year. We're doing a year and a day with the Lord. Familia, Cousins, Primaveras, everybody who's holding me accountable. I can't thank you enough. It's been a dope journey. 15 days in, but 4.1% of the way there if you're rounding up, which is pretty dope, man. Pretty dope. And I picked up today in Matthew because I figured if I read the first book of the Old Testament, might as well read the first book of the New Testament next, right? And man, God does not disappoint ever, right? So in chapter 1 of Matthew, the genealogy of Jesus, and then we're going to the birth of Jesus. And what stood out to me was in 4 different accounts, and just those first 2 chapters, the Old Testament is quoted, and they're quoting prophecies, prophetic words of the coming of the Messiah. And so these prophetic words are coming to fruition. So these prophetic words, prophecies, are being fulfilled. And these prophecies, the first one that comes up is in chapter 1 of Matthew, verse 23. It says, the virgin will be with child and will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, which means God with us. That's Isaiah 7:14. Isaiah was written in 700 BC, 700 years prior to this happening. This prophecy is being fulfilled. And you keep going down in chapter 2 as the Magi are coming to visit, and they're throwing off the king, if you would. They're giving him somewhat faulty information. And then Micah is quoted, and Jeremiah is quoted, Hosea is quoted. Micah dates back to 740 BC. And all of this is happening, and I'm thinking to myself, man, it is a quote here, right? It's a quote, but in verse 4, it says, when he called together all the people's chief priests and teachers of the law, he asked them where the Christ was to be born. In Bethlehem, in Judea, they replied, for this is what the prophet has written. And then he goes on to quote, he quotes there, he's quoting Micah at that point. And man, I have a note here. Teachers of the law, they knew all the details and still did not believe that he was the Messiah. They knew all the they knew every single prophecy that was to come. They watched it be fulfilled, and yet they did not believe. It is a gift that he gave me. It is a gift that he gave you. If you believe every single piece of ink in here, I tell you, you believe all that you need to believe and then some. And that is what is just screaming at me this morning. And one more thing is, I have a little note here, right? Jesus is the Greek form of Joshua, Yeshua, if you would, which means the Lord saves. And as I was reading through genealogies, I saw the name Joshua. And so now I think I'm going to read the book of Joshua next, just to see how that all comes together. But man, Breakfast with the King, day 15 out of 366, leap year, the green mushroom year. Get the one up. Love y'all. God bless.